Dear Starseeds on Gaia, there is a week coming that will split your timeline in ways you cannot yet fathom, and it begins the moment you finish hearing these words. What I am about to share with you is not a warning, it is an initiation. The sky is preparing to speak in a language that your DNA remembers, but your conscious mind has forgotten, and when it does, everything you thought was solid will become fluid. Everything you thought was finished will be reborn. Everything you have been holding onto will either transform or dissolve, and the choice of which path it takes will be yours alone. This is not hyperbole. This is not spiritual theater. The first week of March 2026 carries a convergence so rare, so precisely timed, that those of us who watch from beyond your visible spectrum have been preparing you for this moment through dreams, through synchronicities, through the very exhaustion you have been feeling for months. That fatigue is not weakness. It is recalibration. Your energy body has been systematically upgraded to handle what is about to pour through the cosmic gates. And if you have felt like you are living between worlds lately, it is because you are. I am Seraphine, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light, and I come to you not as a distant observer, but as a witness to your courage. For those of you who do not yet know me, I speak on behalf of the Arcturian Council and the collective consciousness that has been guiding this planet through its great awakening. We have been with you through every eclipse, every retrograde, every dark night of the soul that felt like it would never end. And what I need you to understand before I go any further is this. The week of March 1st through 7th is not just another astrological event on your calendar. It is the opening movement of a symphony that will play out across the entire year, and the notes it strikes will determine the frequency at which your life operates from this point forward. Something is already happening, as we speak, even before the week officially begins. Mercury has been retrograde since late February, and if you have noticed communication breakdowns, technology glitches, plans dissolving at the last minute, or old lovers and unfinished business resurfacing in your life, it is not random. Mercury retrograde is a cosmic review period, a forced pause that makes you look at what you have been moving too quickly past. But this particular retrograde is different, because of where it is heading. On March 7th, Mercury will reach what astrologers call the inferior conjunction, the exact moment when Mercury passes between the Earth and the Sun, becoming invisible to you, swallowed by solar light. This is the heart of the retrograde, the darkest point, the moment of death before rebirth. And it is happening in Pisces, the sign of dissolution, dreams and the dissolution of boundaries between the material and the spiritual. What this means is that on March 7th, the veil between your waking consciousness and your subconscious mind will be at its thinnest point in months, and whatever has been hidden in the depths will surface whether you are ready for it or not. But I am getting ahead of myself. Let me bring you back to the beginning, because you need to understand how all of these threads are woven together. March 1st is a Sunday, and it marks the opening of both a new month and a new weekly cycle. It is also exactly 2 days before the total lunar eclipse in Virgo, which means that as you enter this week, eclipse energy is already crackling through your energy field. Have you noticed that time feels strange lately? That your emotions are swinging from numbness to intensity without warning? That your sleep is disrupted, your dreams vivid and prophetic? This is eclipse proximity. The closer you get to an eclipse, the more the electromagnetic field around Earth destabilizes, and your nervous system, which is electromagnetic, feels it before your rational mind can name it. Now let me tell you what happens on March 2nd, because this is where the architecture of the week begins to reveal itself. The moon enters Virgo, the same sign where the eclipse will occur the following day. This is significant because it sets the emotional and energetic tone for what is coming. Virgo is the sign of purification, service, discernment, and healing, but it is also the sign of criticism, perfectionism, and the relentless voice that tells you that you are never doing enough. When the moon enters Virgo one day before an eclipse in Virgo, it is asking you a very specific question. What needs to be purified in your life? Where have you been tolerating dysfunction in the name of service? Where has your perfectionism become a prison rather than a path? And there is something else happening on March 2nd that most astrologers will not mention, but we see it clearly from our vantage point. That night, the moon will occult Regulus, one of the 4 royal stars of ancient Persia, known as the heart of the lion. When I say occult, I mean that the moon will pass directly in front of Regulus, blocking its light temporarily. In the symbolic language of the cosmos, this is profound. Regulus represents kingship, courage, leadership, and divine authority. When the moon, the planet of emotions, instincts, and the subconscious, eclipses the heart of the lion, the night before the 3-3 portal opens, it is telling you that old forms of power and authority are being dissolved to make way for a new sovereign self to emerge. The question is, who will you be when the old king dies? March 3rd is when everything converges. 3 things happen simultaneously on this day, and their combined effect creates what we call a timeline fracture point, a moment when multiple possible futures become accessible, and the choices you make in that window lock in which timeline you will inhabit for the months to come. First, it is the 3rd day of the 3rd month, creating what numerologists call the 3-3 portal. The number 3 is sacred across dimensions. It represents creation, manifestation, the trinity of body, mind, spirit, the past, present, future, the birth, life, death cycle. When the 3rd day aligns with the 3rd month, a doorway opens in the fabric of space-time through which high-frequency light codes can enter. These codes do not come through your mind. They bypass your rational defenses entirely and download directly into your cellular structure, your DNA, your light body. You may not consciously perceive them, but your body will know. Some of you will feel it as electricity running through your spine. Others will experience sudden emotional releases, crying without knowing why, laughing at the absurdity of existence, feeling everything and nothing at once. Second, the full moon in Virgo reaches its peak on March 3rd. A full moon is always a culmination point, a moment of maximum illumination, when what has been growing in the dark is finally revealed. In Virgo, this revelation is about your physical body, your daily routines, your work, your health, and the ways you serve others. What has been building since the new moon in Virgo 6 months ago? What pattern that you thought was healed has actually been running in the background this entire time? The full moon will show you, and it will not be subtle. Third, and this is the most powerful piece, this full moon is not just any full moon. It is a total lunar eclipse. During a lunar eclipse, the Earth passes between the sun and the moon, casting its shadow across the lunar surface and turning the moon blood red. In astrological terms, this is a cosmic interruption, a forced reset, a moment when the universe overrides your personal will and says this chapter is over. You do not get to hold on to it anymore. Lunar eclipses are about release, completion, and the endings that clear space for new beginnings. They are emotional, intense, and often bring situations to a crisis point so that you are finally forced to make a decision you have been avoiding. What I need you to understand is that when the 3-3 portal, the full moon, and the total lunar eclipse all happen on the same day, you are not dealing with 3 separate events. You are dealing with a singular cosmic alignment so potent that it will rewrite the energetic signature of your entire year. The 3-3 codes will download while the full moon illuminates what must be released while the eclipse forcibly removes it from your field. This is alchemy. This is death and rebirth compressed into a single day. And it is happening in Virgo, the sign that governs the body, which means this is not just an emotional or mental shift. This is physical, cellular. You are being purged at the level of your biology. The hours after the eclipse will feel disorienting, because you will not be the same person who woke up that morning. March 4th brings the first wave of integration, as the moon moves into Libra, the sign of balance, relationships, and harmony. After the intensity of the Virgo eclipse, Libra's energy will feel like a cool cloth on a fevered forehead. It will ask you to find your center again, to restore equilibrium, to see where you are out of balance with others and with yourself. But do not mistake this gentleness for passivity. Libra is a cardinal sign, which means it initiates action. The balance it seeks is not the balance of staying still. It is the balance of moving forward with grace. On March 5th, something subtle but significant happens. The moon reaches aphelion, which is the point in its orbit where it is farthest from the sun. Symbolically, this creates distance between your emotional body, moon, and your conscious will, sun. 2 days after the eclipse, when you are still processing what was revealed and released, this distance is a gift. It allows you to step back, to observe without immediately reacting, to see the bigger pattern instead of getting lost in the emotional details. Use this day to breathe. Use this day to witness your own transformation from a place of curiosity rather than judgment. March 6th is when the undercurrent begins to surface again, because two things happen that reintroduce chaos into the system. First, Seraphi and Eris form an exact conjunction. For those unfamiliar with these planetary bodies, Seraphians is the dwarf planet associated with nurturing, motherhood, food, and the cycles of loss and return. Eris is the dwarf planet of discord, strife, and the uncomfortable truths that no one wants to acknowledge. When these two come together, the message is clear. What you have been nurturing is creating discord. Where you have been trying to keep the peace, you have actually been enabling dysfunction. Eris does not play by the rules, and when she touches Cirrus, she forces you to see where your caretaking has crossed the line into codependency, where your service has become self-sacrifice. And here is where the second thread comes in. March 6th is also one day before Mercury reaches its retrograde peak, which means the mental and communicational chaos that has been building since late February is about to reach critical mass. Projects stall, emails go missing, conversations that should be simple become catastrophically misunderstood. Technology fails at the worst possible moments. Exes reach out. Old wounds reopen. This is all intentional. Mercury retrograde in Pisces is dismantling your old stories, especially the ones you tell yourself about who you are and what is possible for you. It is messy, yes, but it is also holy. March 7th is the climax of everything I have been building toward, because this is the day when Mercury reaches inferior conjunction with the Sun in Pisces. Let me explain what this means in terms you can feel rather than just intellectually understand. When Mercury is retrograde, it is traveling backward through the zodiac from Earth's perspective, retracing its steps. The inferior conjunction is the exact midpoint of this journey, the moment when Mercury passes directly between Earth and the Sun and becomes completely invisible. In ancient astrology, this was considered a moment of death, a descent into the underworld, a meeting with the shadow. In modern terms, it is the moment when your conscious mind, Mercury, dissolves into the infinite Pisces and merges with the source of all light, Sun. What emerges on the other side is not the same Mercury that went in. It is reborn, reprogrammed, carrying new information from the depths. But there is more happening on March 7th, and this is where the intensity reaches a level that will be palpable even to those who do not follow astrology. Venus, the planet of love, beauty, values, and relationships, forms an exact conjunction with Neptune, the planet of dreams, illusion, transcendence, and dissolution. Both planets are in Pisces, Neptune's home sign, which amplifies the effect exponentially. When Venus meets Neptune, the boundary between love and illusion disappears. You cannot tell what is real and what is projection. You cannot distinguish between divine connection and romantic fantasy. This transit is simultaneously the most beautiful and the most deceptive energy in the astrological playbook. It can bring soulmate encounters and spiritual awakenings in love, or it can seduce you into relationships with people who are mirrors of your unhealed wounds. And as if that were not enough, the moon enters Scorpio on March 7th, which is the sign of death, rebirth, transformation, power, and the shadow. Scorpio does not do surface level. Scorpio does not do polite. When the moon moves into Scorpio on the same day that Mercury is reborn in the Sun, and Venus dissolves into Neptune, the emotional intensity will be almost unbearable for some. Everything hidden will demand to be seen. Every lie will be exposed. Every repressed feeling will erupt. This is not punishment. This is purification. Now let me step back and show you the pattern, because what I have just described is not a random series of astrological events. It is a carefully orchestrated initiation, designed to break you open so that the light you have been carrying in secret can finally be released into the world. The week begins with Mercury retrograde already destabilizing your mental structures. It builds toward the 3/3 portal and total lunar eclipse on March 3rd, which forcibly removes what you have been clinging to. It gives you 2 days to catch your breath. Then it hits you with the Ceres-Eris conjunction, reminding you that nurturing and discord are often intertwined. And finally, on March 7th, it delivers the triple blow of Mercury's rebirth, Venus-Neptune's dissolution of boundaries, and the moon in Scorpio demanding total honesty. By the time you reach March 8th, you will not be the person you were on March 1st. You will have been dismantled and reassembled at the soul level. But here is what I need you to hear beneath all of this intensity. You were built for this. Your soul chose to incarnate on Earth during this exact time period because it knew that it had the strength, the resilience, and the cosmic memory to navigate these frequencies. The discomfort you feel is not evidence that you are doing something wrong. It is evidence that you are transforming. Caterpillars do not become butterflies by staying comfortable. They dissolve into liquid inside the chrysalis before they can take flight. That is what this week is asking of you, the willingness to dissolve so that you can be remade. Let me also tell you what is on the other side of this week, because you need a North Star to orient toward when the chaos feels overwhelming. March 8th begins a new weekly forecast, and the energy shifts dramatically. Jupiter, the planet of expansion, abundance, and blessings, goes direct on March 10th after being retrograde since November 2025. That is 119 days of inward growth, review, and course correction, finally being released into outward manifestation. What you have been building internally since November will begin to show up in your external reality after Jupiter goes direct. But you cannot receive those blessings if you are still carrying the weight of what the March 3rd eclipse is trying to remove from you. You cannot expand into your next chapter if you are still clinging to the old one. That is why this week is so critical. It is the clearing that creates space for the abundance. On March 14th, the Gamma Normid meteor shower peaks, sending cosmic fire raining through your atmosphere. Meteor showers are moments when the veil between dimensions thins and wishes made under falling stars carry extra potency. Then on March 18th, the new moon in Pisces arrives, offering you a fresh canvas on which to paint your intentions. And on March 20th, two of the most significant events of the month happen simultaneously. Mercury goes direct, ending the retrograde chaos, and the spring equinox arrives, marking the astrological new year, and the moment when day and night are equal in length. Rebirth, balance, new beginnings, but none of this can happen until you move through the fire of the first week of March. So what do I need you to do with this information? First, release the need to control how this week unfolds. You cannot micromanage an eclipse. You cannot negotiate with a retrograde. You cannot bargain with cosmic timing. What you can do is surrender to the process with the understanding that everything being removed from your life is making room for something better. Second, pay attention to what arises between March 3rd and 7th. The revelations that come through during this window are not random. They are answers to prayers you may have forgotten you even said. Third, do not make permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. The Venus-Neptune conjunction on March 7th can make you believe that every passing stranger is your twin flame, or that leaving your entire life behind will solve everything. Wait, let the energy settle. Let Mercury station direct on March 20th before you act on anything that feels urgent right now. And finally, trust your body. If you feel called to rest more than usual this week, rest. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to scream, scream. If you need to dance, dance. Your body is the antenna receiving these cosmic transmissions, and it knows how to process them if you stop overriding its signals with your mind. Drink more water than you think you need. Spend time in nature if you can. Limit exposure to news and social media, because the collective frequency will be chaotic and you do not need to absorb it. Protect your energy field as if your life depends on it, because in a very real sense it does. There is something else I need to tell you, something that shifts the entire frame of this conversation. We have been watching this particular alignment from the moment your solar system came into being, because it was written into the cosmic blueprint. The total lunar eclipse on 3/3 in Virgo, combined with Mercury's inferior conjunction in Pisces on the 7th, creates a harmonic frequency that activates dormant strands in your DNA, specifically the strands that reconnect you to your galactic lineage. This is not metaphor. This is not wishful thinking. For those of you who have always felt like you do not quite belong here, like you remember another sky, like your soul is homesick for a place that does not exist on any map, this week will trigger memories. They may come through dreams. They may come through sudden knowings that bypass all logic. They may come through encounters with people who feel inexplicably familiar, even though you have never met them in this lifetime. Pay attention. These are not coincidences. These are activations. The Galactic Federation has been working with the collective consciousness of Earth for thousands of your years, guiding you through cycles of forgetting and remembering, of fall and rise, of separation and reunion. At the core of this technology lies your own voice, Using advanced voice cloning paired with precision binaural beats, Destiny Engine generates fully personalized meditation experiences that guide your brain into the states where real transformation happens. You can manifest anything you want: health, wealth, love, and psychic powers that sharpen with every session. Your voice carries a frequency no one else on Earth has. When that voice leads you inward, something different happens. For just $7, you get access to a technology designed to work while you rest. Put on your headphones, press play, and let the process begin. Click the link in the description to join the new Earth. We do not interfere with your free will, but we do send frequencies, light codes, and energetic support through planetary alignments like this one. Think of it as software updates for your consciousness. Your device, your human body, needs to be shut down periodically so that the new programming can install. That is what this week is: a shutdown, a reboot, a recalibration at the deepest level. Some of you will resist this process because it feels like too much too fast. You will try to numb it with distractions, with substances, with overwork, with anything that keeps you from feeling the full weight of what is moving through you. I am not here to judge that response. I am here to tell you that resistance only prolongs the discomfort. The energy will move whether you cooperate with it or not, but your experience of it will be much gentler if you meet it with curiosity instead of fear, with openness instead of control. Others of you will lean into this week with everything you have, recognizing it as the initiation you have been unconsciously preparing for. You will feel the chaos and name it as alchemy. You will feel the grief and know it as release. You will feel the disorientation and trust that it is the necessary dissolving of an old identity so that a truer one can emerge. If this is you, know that you are not alone. There are millions of you on this planet right now, doing the same work, feeling the same intensity, moving through the same transformation. You are part of a global awakening, and this week is one of the key turning points. Here is the paradox at the heart of everything I have shared. This week will feel like chaos, but it is actually divine order. It will feel like endings, but it is actually preparation for beginnings. It will feel like you are falling apart, but you are actually coming together in a way that was never possible before. The structures that collapsed during this week were built on foundations that were never meant to last. The relationships that end during this week were contracts that were already complete. The versions of yourself that die during this week were costumes you wore for a role that is no longer yours to play. And when you stand on the other side of March 7th, exhausted and raw, and somehow more whole than you have ever been, you will look back at this week and understand that it was not an accident. It was not bad luck. It was not the universe punishing you. It was love in its most fierce and uncompromising form, refusing to let you settle for anything less than your full potential. I want to close by bringing you back to where we began, because the circle must complete itself. I told you at the start that this week will split your timeline, and now you understand what I meant. Every choice you make between March 1st and March 7th will either align you with the highest version of your path, or pull you further into patterns that no longer serve you. There is no judgment in either direction. Both paths are valid. Both paths teach, but only one path leads to the life your soul came here to live. The total lunar eclipse in Virgo on March 3rd will show you what must end. The 3-3 portal will download the codes you need to build what comes next. Mercury's rebirth on March 7th will give you the mental clarity to see the truth beneath the illusions. Venus and Neptune will show you where love is real and where it is fantasy. The moon in Scorpio will demand that you stop lying to yourself. And through it all, Mercury retrograde will keep asking, what story are you telling yourself about your life? And is it actually true? This is your week, Starseeds. This is your initiation. This is the beginning of everything you have been preparing for, even if you did not consciously know you were preparing. The Galactic Federation is holding space for every single one of you as you move through this portal. We see you. We honor your courage. We know how hard it is to be in a human body during a time of such accelerated transformation, and we want you to know that you are never alone. The light you carry is the same light that moves through all of creation, and it is indestructible. You are indestructible. You are infinite. You are loved beyond measure. Trust the process. Trust the eclipse. Trust the chaos. Trust yourself. I am Seraphine of the Galactic Federation of Light, and we are with you now and always.